I want to jump to this story because my friends, Elon Musk is in desperate need of our help. Of our help, because the media is lying about him. And I'm only half kidding, actually. I tweeted Jack Sweeney was not posting public information. Jack Sweeney was posting the private information of Elon Musk, and he knew. Sweeney is the guy who ran the Elon Jet account. Elon Musk suspended him and all of the journalists who linked to his private data. Elon had what's called a PIA. It's a privacy ICAO address. That is, his aircraft address was private and rotated every month. I want to show you this archive because I linked the source. Jack Sweeney, January 26, 2022. He said, Elon got PIA, but I've already identified it. Wow. Confirmed on PIA, but I'm all good here still. He even said that PIA does make it harder, but he can write code to figure it out. This is not publicly available information. This was a guy who used code and bots to algorithmically crack the identity of Elon's plane so that he could publish that information. And Elon made one mistake. He tolerated it. Mm-hmm. He was, because he wanted to be a free speech guy. He says, I'm not even going to ban that account. Well, he should have instantly. Yeah. So some people are saying, well, Elon got rid of his PIA recently. And I'm like, look, if Elon was spending money for a private rotating address to avoid being doxxed and it wasn't working, he was still getting doxxed, I'm not surprised that he would eventually say, what's the point of paying for this or doing it? But this is what the journalists are lying about. The Intercept issued a statement saying our journalist was suspended for sharing public information, but it's not public information. So the funny thing is, I can Google anyone's address. I'll find it. I'll find your name, phone number, address in 10 seconds. It's public information. You still can't share it on Twitter. All of a sudden, they're defending this and they're lying about it. Here's the crazy thing. Back in January, one person responded, is there a way to take his concerns about his own safety seriously, but still do this? It's really cool to have this, but I don't know. It just feels odd. You're a heck of a coder, too. One person said, please stop. Already unfollowed. Other people cheered him on. Some said, why are you doing this? But the fact that you had people responding to him being like, yo, this is dangerous, and he didn't care. Yo, this is what evil looks like. Someone who knows what he's doing is wrong, cracking someone's privacy address. And then when this was addressed, because Elon, so I tweeted about this. Actually, Elon responded to my tweet just saying correct. I don't know if we have it right here. He said correct. Jack Sweeney responded by saying, Elon is trying to say what I'm posting isn't public information. ADS-B and ACARs are all over public frequency and are acquired by organizations, blah, 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 blah. It's like saying AM and FM signals aren't public, blah, blah. You see how he avoided addressing the fact that he cracked the PIA number? Yeah. He's because he knows what he did was wrong. In fact, Elon even insinuated that what he did was illegal. That by compiling public data to expose the privacy address of Elon's plane and then sharing it publicly, that he actually was committing some kind of crime. I don't know if that's the case, but here's what he wrote. He said, yeah, so the PIA ICAO can be changed monthly if chosen to do so. But even then, it's relatively easy to identify. I'm confident I can write software to identify it actually. And that was in February. And Elon tolerated it. And because he did, as soon as he realized just how dangerous it was and finally said enough, they tried calling him out. Oh, but you said before you wouldn't do it. Well, my attitude is that was Elon being nice. Yeah. Now he's nuking you.
Yeah. I mean, it's really infuriating to hear you talk about this because I hadn't, I was traveling today, so I hadn't heard the rest of the story because just on my show, we were talking about this and we made a comment that it was odd that he mentioned when he first announced that Elon Jet was banned, he mentioned that he had some legal, he's like, I'm already pursuing legal ramifications. Right. And I thought to myself, well, hold on. What does he have? He must know something else because how does he think he has a case if this guy wasn't doing something illegal? If it's publicly available information, you have no case, right? So, but it's infuriating because I'm looking at all of these places who are supposed to be journalists trying to find out more information. I'm finding out from alternative media, right? That's where you find it out. You don't find it out from any mainstream media source.
Elon Musk also responded to Ariadna Jacob, who tweeted, I'm not famous and I wasn't a public figure either when Taylor Lorenz asked for my address, said it wasn't for publication, and then proceeded to dox me in the New York Times with the address she had assured me wasn't going to be published. The article was shared many times on Twitter. And this is Elon responding saying, such shameful behavior will not be tolerated going forward. Last night, there was a big space that Elon went into, a Twitter space, these chat rooms, right? had like 100,000 or some ridiculous amount of people. And it was a bunch of woke journalists and left-wing activists. And Elon came in and said, journalists, you're not special. If you dox, you'll be banned. Thank you. Goodbye. And then the crazy thing about it was that several suspended accounts were able to actually be in the space. It was fascinating to listen to these people who knew nothing about what they were talking about. They were saying things like tracking planes is publicly available information. Incorrect. They said, if you're on a plane, anyone can post the tail number and whatever. It's like, yeah, but if you're flying commercial, no one knows who's on the plane. Elon's plane is Elon's plane. It's him or his family. So they didn't quite understand this. And the most important element for people to understand, private airport terminals typically have no security. You can literally just jump a 4-foot fence and be on the tarmac at one of these airports. These are small regional airports often. Sometimes they're on the back of a major airport and they'll have some like maybe an 8-foot fence, but that's it. It's a chain link fence. Teterboro. Teterboro is the New York area airport where most people try to fly into. Because JFK and LaGuardia, if you do want to fly into their private terminals, it's very, very complicated. So it's much, and I don't even know if they have them, but it's easier to fly into New Jersey. The road is about 25 feet from the tarmac. That means if somebody is tracking Elon's jet in real time, they can pull up their car knowing he's about to land, and they can be ready for something truly awful. And they can be in the building. There's no security. Perhaps a problem. But when they're publishing the private information of Elon Musk and then lying about it, there is a very serious security threat. The last thing I want to mention on this, listening to this Twitter space, Brian Stelter comes in and congratulates them on the scoop. It's just deplorable behavior. But the one thing I wanted to say, but there's no point in going in these rooms and saying it, so I joined a different room with Nuance Bro and a few other people. And I just wanted to point out, a couple of weeks ago, or about a week and a half ago, a couple of men broke into my house, smashed the window, climbed in. Fortunately, I was not there because we go to great lengths to keep our security, to maintain security. And so for whatever reason, these guys thought I was there. We believe it was targeted. So shots were fired at them. They then fled. If somebody was tracking my real-time location, like on a jet or a car, I could be dead. Mm-hmm. Not just me, many other people. And so Elon gets to experience it with his family. The other thing I hear is the left now saying Elon didn't file a police report on the guy jumping on his car. And it's like their view of law enforcement comes from movies. There's two things to say to that. First, why would law enforcement help anybody right now, especially someone like Elon who's associated with the far right or whatever? But more importantly, hey, shout out to Luke for, the back to blue sarcasm. Why would law enforcement not doing anything? The other issue that people don't realize is that the amount of time and energy that is required to deal with these things in the legal system, it's months, it's tens of thousands of dollars or more, and it pulls you away from your job and there's nothing you can do about it. And the state could even get involved and victimize you, the victim already. So if someone breaks into your car and attacks you and you decide to call the police can then say, you've got to give us your records. You've got to give us your phone. You got to give us these things. You have to appear in court on these dates and you can't say no. So a lot of people who know this and are well off are probably like, we are better off not filing a report on this one.
Wasn't there video of the guy climbing onto the hood?
I don't know about climbing on the hood, but there's video of the guy they said did it wearing like what looked like black bloc.
Okay, so they're saying that the video that he made up.
Well, there has to be videos because I bet Elon and his family don't drive anything else but Teslas. Right. So Teslas usually have cameras everywhere filming everything. Yeah. There has to be some video of it. But, a cop, a lot of the times the cops show up, they're like, what do you want? You want a report? Like, okay, guy jumped on your hood. Did anyone get hurt? No? Okay, have a good night. That's essentially how a lot of cops act. Like, okay, can we generate some revenue for the state here? Can we give someone a ticket? No? Yeah, okay. I'm busy, kid. That's just, now would Elon Musk be treated differently? I don't know, maybe, but in many of my personal instances, the cops weren't helpful at all, and many times they just don't give a damn. They just don't care. So I don't know if they would be actively doing something against someone jumping on a hood, especially when it comes to stalkers. There's a lot of people that get victimized by stalkers, and there's very little that you could actually do about it.
Yeah, stalking's really difficult to have evidence for. I mean, a lot of times it's like you said someone was here when they weren't supposed to be, and now they're gone, so what should we do about that? Like, if they come back, let us know.
Oh, this guy's standing on public property. He's not doing anything wrong.
Or it's like, if he comes back, that would be the worst thing, right?
Like, I'll let you know after he's already killed me. Thanks.
Right.
You know what I'm going to do? I'm gonna dig a moat around our next headquarters. I'm gonna draw a bridge.
You personally?
That was the idea. That's what I said from the beginning. I was like, we gotta have Freedomistan, we gotta have a big moat, and we gotta have two communities. One's a centralized government one, one's an anarchist one. We're gonna see which one thrives, but we gotta have a moat.
The centralized one will thrive, but it will be less comfortable.
We'll see. Let's play out this experiment. I think it would be interesting.
I think the centralized side will be very, very fast. Is able to turn on a dime, but people will be they're more likely to be unhappy. I think in the anarchist side, people will be chilling, but it will grow not as quickly.
This is what your memberships are funding.
And I think it's worth it. Yeah.
It was also
doesn't want to see the moat.
It was also interesting to see Barry Weiss criticize Musk for banning these journalists, and he kind of responded, "What would you have done if someone was live doxing your kids?" It's an interesting question because again, there's also a lot of possibilities for these new rules to be interpreted in many different ways that could actually stifle journalism. Let's not say that there's not a slippery slope here, because there is. I think that still should be addressed in some kind of way. But again, a lot of this is personal. A lot of this is emotional, rather than actually being based on any kind of logic or principle.
Thanks for watching this clip from the Timcast IRL podcast. Hang out with us live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. and become a member over at timcast.com for uncensored, members-only shows exclusive. Thanks for hanging out, and we'll see you all next time.